Good morning. Time to wake up, sleepy. It's time for work. You've already pressed snooze twice, so you're gonna have to eat breakfast in the car. Let me turn the lights on for you. Did you not hear me the first time? If you're late, you won't get a spot in the parking lot, and will get towed because you have to park in the lot across the street. Then you'll have to go get your car at lunch, and Janice will keep telling people how lazy you are. 5 more minutes and you'll have to wear the same outfit as yesterday. Time to get up.
Get up.
Well, welcome back to the Laughing to the Void podcast, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that opening segment, especially if you're listening to this in the morning. I'm sure that will really get the juices flowing for the day. So how was your past couple weeks? I see. Well, I did write that last bit when I was extraordinarily hungover. But yeah, let's get into it. Please don't become an almond parent. From the product of 2 pseudo-almond parents, I can tell you that it comes at a major mental toll that'll permeate your child's entire life. Even to this day, I still get flashbacks of when I had to sneak down to the kitchen once everyone was asleep and open the pantry so I could suck the jelly out of the Nutri-Grain bars. Then I sealed them back up with my saliva and taped up the packaging. And that was the only way I could get a significant amount of sugar during my childhood. My parents eventually stopped buying the Nutri-Grain bars because they weren't flavorful enough. I was kind of the cause of my own suffering in that case. So, let your kids have an M&M every once in a while. In other news, I drove a Mercedes GT at the Exotics racetrack when I went to Vegas for spring break. And I went pretty fast. I think I would have gone faster if the coach in the safety meeting hadn't said that he was in the car when someone hit the wall at 50 miles an hour, and then he had to get 2 of his vertebrae fused to prevent his death. All I'm saying is there's no shame in dying doing what you love. It's always the guy with the fused spine sucking the fun out of everything. Being a stay-at-home parent would kind of be the shit. Like, wake up, eat breakfast, drive the kids to school, and then go hoop for 7 hours until it's time for pickup. People say that stay-at-home parents are lazy or contribute nothing, but have you ever put up 4 triple-doubles at your 9 to 5? Because Mary, Carol, and Tina are doing that Monday through Friday, week in, week out. And you wonder why your stay-at-home mom is always so tired when you get back from school. She was splashing step-back jumpers in the 3-on-3 on the hardwood all day. Then she has to come home and help your whiny ass with algebra homework. You think LeBron ever helped his kids with partial fractions? Transition. Do you ever eat the dead skin you pull off your athlete's foot? Yeah, neither do I. That would be really weird. So weird. I challenge you to drink your urine and tell me that it doesn't taste worse than some of the alcohol you've consumed. I tried a Malort shot the other day, and that may have been the most disgusting thing my body has ever ingested. Google describes it to be savory and waxy on the palate, which I wholeheartedly disagree with. It burned like tequila going down, and the flavor was just like indistinguishable chemical flavor. If you've ever taken a swig of Axe 2-in-1, I'd say that's probably closer to a Malort shot than any other hard liquor I've consumed. I think that's a liquid that should not be ingested under any circumstance. If you leave a comment saying, "No, Malort is good, you're just uncultured," you are objectively incorrect. If you say that, go to the bathroom right now and catch some of your stream in your mouth and tell me that Malort tastes better than that. I've drank my dehydrated urine before when it's yellow, almost brown, and it is significantly better than Malort. Malort would be better suited as rocket fuel instead of in a glass. My friend let me borrow his jacket the other day. Let me put it on real quick for you guys. As you can see, I have on the racing jacket of Busch Light and casual sports-related racism. A racing jacket is like the yellow badge for living in a flyover state. Nothing says, "I don't get hungover from a 30 rack anymore," like one of these. But alas, it does fit my description once again because I do live in a flyover state. This jacket makes me want to ash Marlboro Reds on the wrists of my children. Then they grow up with a festering hatred toward me, and it boils over when they burn my house down with me in it. I neither smoke nor have children, so your outrage against that statement is illusory. Let me take this off because I think I'm going to start sweating if I keep this on for the rest of the podcast, but I wanted you guys to get a peek of this drip. It's actually Ricky Bobby. Shout out Michael letting me borrow this for the podcast. I want to introduce the new segment, the Q&A segment, in which you ask me questions and I provide answers. All right, first question. What is your favorite quote? I might have to paraphrase, but it goes something like this. Break records at Louis. Ate breakfast at Gucci. My girl a superstar, all from a home movie. Bow on our arrival, the un-American idols. What they did in Paris got them hanging off the Eiffel. Yeah, I'm talking business. We talking CIA. I'm talking George Tenet. I see him the other day. He asked me about my Maybach. Think he had the same, except mine tinted and his might have been running. You know white people get money, don't spend it. Or maybe they get money by business. I'd rather buy 80 gold chains and go ignorant. I know Spike Lee gon' kill me, but let me finish. Blame it on the pigment. We live in no limits. Them gold masterpiece ceiling was just a figment of our imagination. MTV cribs. Now I'm looking at a crib right next to where TC live. That's Tom Cruise. Whatever she accused, he wasn't really drunk, he just had a few brews. Pass the refreshments, a cool beverage. Everything I do need a news cruise presence. Speedboat swerve, homie, watch out for the waves. I'm way too black to burn from sun rays, so I just meditate at the home in Pompeii about how I could build a new Rome in one day. Every time I'm in Vegas, they're screaming like he's Elvis, but I just want to design hotels and nail it. Shit is real, got me feeling Israeli like Bar Rafael or Giselle. Now that's Brazilian. Went through deep depression when my mama passed. Suicide, what kind of talk is that? But I've been talking to God for so long that if you look at my life, I guess he's talking back, fucking with my clique. Yeah, so I think that'd probably be my favorite quote. Alright, next question. What is your opinion on the TikTok ban? It doesn't really surprise me that old senators are hating on TikTok after they cracked down on the number of predators on their app. After their child trafficking ring was taken down by TikTok, they hobbled over to their rotary phones and dialed up Zuckerberg to tell him to make TikTok go away so they could resume their regularly scheduled pedophilia. It scans the child's face and then stores the data? That's kind of creepy. Yes, Reginald, much more creepy than the flock of 9-year-olds you keep in your cellar. Now Instagram Reels can be the child predator medium of the future. So next question is, what do you do when you first wake up in the morning? So when I wake up, I start my day pretty standard. I usually check my phone and scroll through Instagram of my favorite brain surgeons to see if they're doing any discounts on lobotomies. After I come up empty-handed, I typically just roll onto my back and imagine all of the tension being released from my body as the doctor saws through my frontal cortex. Then that Zen state percolates throughout the rest of my day so I can stay calm during each of my daily stressors. It's important to practice meditation via lobotomy manifestation to increase your mindfulness and awareness. You should definitely try it. Next question. What is your greatest fear? I think my greatest fear is getting T-boned in an intersection with traffic cameras. The reason being is I don't need traffic enforcement having pictures of my deformed mid-impact elephant man face. They're going to put that up at my funeral as the last picture ever taken of me. And people are going to think that they just slipped a photo of Ronda Rousey getting head kicked into my memoriam. Next question. How did you celebrate your last birthday? So I believe I spent my last birthday watching Dahmer and eating multiple Kinder Eggs. I've been told multiple times that my personality and appearance resemble Dahmer. It could just be that we're both some sweet-talking Midwestern white boys that strike you as on the spectrum at first meeting. The Kinder Eggs were pretty fire, though. It's kind of wild to me that Kinder Eggs are banned in the U.S., but assault rifles aren't. No matter your stance on guns, I think we can agree on the absurdity that Walmart isn't allowed to sell hollow chocolate with a toy in the middle, but you can buy an AR-15 off the shelf. Kinder Eggs is where we draw the line. I think that's enough of the questions. We're going to transition to everyone's favorite segment, the Would You Rather segment, where I ask you, would you rather, and you listen as I say it. And then you form an opinion in your brain, or just listen, because this is white noise going on in the background. Alright, so here's the first one. Would you rather play the song Pure Cocaine by Lil Baby on your phone as loud as possible on repeat whenever you go out in public? If you don't already have one, you are gifted an Apple iPhone 14 Pro Max to play it from, which is a phone with one of the loudest onboard speakers. The speaker cannot be obstructed in any form. For example, it cannot be in your pocket bottom down. The speaker has to be facing open air. You also play it through free Spotify, so you play the ads on full volume as well. Assume that you just got your second DUI, and none of your family, friends, or neighbors can drive you to work, and you can no longer take rideshare services because you set fire to one of your Ubers. So you are relegated to public transportation via bus or train. You are beat up every third week from being a public irritant, and the people on the bus or train constantly ostracize you for being obnoxious. You may not explain why you're playing it to them, you just have to tell them that you like the song. All of the shoes you own are dress shoes, and work is at least 10 miles away, so walking is not a viable option. This goes on until you retire, then you can go in public in peace. Or, find out after completing all of your schooling that everything you were taught was made up and you're part of a psychological experiment to see how a human would develop under all these false pretenses. All of your classmates were actors, and all of your family, friends, and teachers were in on it. The college or higher level education that you paid for is refunded to you as an act of gratitude from the researchers. Your family is actually your family, but your friends were also actors that were placed to uphold the ruse. Although they weren't really your friends, you've developed some type of bond with them, and you can't get over the fact that they didn't choose you. As compensation from destroying your life, you are given a $30,000 per year stipend from the research organization and are flown out to Barbados to have dinner with Drake at a seafood restaurant of your choosing. You are not allowed to have children, since the information that was bequeathed to you would have a ripple effect over the education system nationwide. The option of a lobotomy is offered to you to ease the mental anguish that the situation might cause, and this offer never expires. And Lil Wayne mentions your name in Carter 6 in reference to someone who was duped. As much as I like the song Pure Cocaine by Lil Baby, I think it would be cooler to have Lil Wayne mention me in one of his songs, so me personally, I'm going to have to go with that one. The $30,000 a year stipend would be pretty sick too. Like, I could work, but wouldn't really have to. Like, all my living expenses are paid for pretty much, so I could pretty much just coast on that. So, yeah, I think I think I would do the fake schooling. And if it doesn't work out, I could just get a lobotomy, so it's kind of a win-win in that situation. All right, now for the next one. Would you rather walk down the street of New York City and be hit in the head with a spider crane and forget who you are? The head trauma induces you into a 2-month coma at Staten Island University Hospital, where you are fed through a feeding tube and are attached to a ventilator for the duration of your stay. Your feeding tube diet consists of mechanically separated chicken slime 3 times a day, and for dinner you get an even more liquefied applesauce. None of your family is informed since they live on the other side of the country and you cut ties with them when you move to New York to pursue your career in corporate finance, so no one is there for you when you wake up. When you wake up, a woman who claims to be an oracle is standing in your room, looking out the window. She turns around with her mouth hanging open and her eyes bloodshot rolled into the back of her head and says, "Do what you can, do what you must, but to the forest you go, the only place you can trust. Dancing among the trees, a cure you shall find, to all of those thoughts confined." Then the nurse knocks on your door, and when you look back to see the oracle, she's gone. You are released from the hospital and set out to the forest since you know no better at the time. You stumble through the forest for 4 days without stopping, and happen upon a mystical forest-dwelling cult that inducts you in by branding. You rise up the ranks of the cult and eventually become the leader, but your induction comes at the cost of eating the flesh off the hand of another living adult cult member. If you do this, you will live happily ever after, but if not, they will burn you alive in a pit of fire. Or travel to Cuzco, Peru to participate in an ayahuasca retreat with 2 of your coworkers as a team-building activity. You stay in a 3-person tent with your coworkers and are set to a regimented schedule for the days leading up to the ceremony. During the ceremony, you repeatedly vomit after drinking the ayahuasca brew, as this is commonplace. As your trip begins, your vision pixelates and your hands melt into the grass, and you see your soul ascend from your body and scatter into pieces among the pixelation of the trees and the sky. You see visions of all of your previous wrongdoings and those you hurt in the process. You see your mother and father contemplating your birth and the struggles that they had because of it. You see your parents paying off your friends to spend time with you, and remember the backhanded comments your friends made that you didn't understand, but now are clearer than ever. This continues for the next 4 hours while you're high, and you come out of the trip feeling nothing but betrayal, hatred, and anger. Your coworkers were able to resolve long-standing personal issues and grievances related to stressors in their life, and develop steps of action to improve themselves going forward. For the rest of the trip, they only talk about how excited they are to go back and change their lives with little regard for your experience. Your coworkers continually share their experiences in team meetings once you get back, and while you're happy that they're improving their own lives, you struggle with what your visions meant, and you are frustrated as they continuously go 5 to 10 minutes over in every meeting discussing how great their experience was. And you deal with this until you leave the company. I think I would take getting hit in the head with a crane and being inducted into a cult. The other option isn't so tantalizing. It would be cool to do an ayahuasca ceremony, but I don't really want to deal with the emotional repercussions of that trip. I feel like I'm in a pretty good place right now, and I don't want to mess that all up by taking ayahuasca once and having a bad trip. So yeah, that's what I think I would go with. All right, and now for the final segment, TikTok of the week, where I show you TikToks, and then I laugh at them. So here's the first one.
I'm looking for the blue M30s. People call them the perks, but I believe they're fentanyl. Anyway, I'll be here. I'm a homeless man. Hi, excuse me, boss. Ah!
That's the most proper I think I've ever seen a homeless man speak in my life. I would be more irked if I saw this guy instead of like a homeless guy that's like kind of cracked out, because it's just so unusual to see such a high functioning homeless man. So yeah, that's that one. All right, and here is the final one.
The other day I got yelled at on the road by some woman. She was like, "You don't deserve a license. Get off the road. I have your plate number." So I followed her, made her fear for her safety. And as I was close enough behind to see her face frantically darting back and forth in a rearview mirror to look at me saying, God, I've made a mistake," I felt a little good inside. Same goes for when she tried to use a turn signal to shake me and then subsequently went straight. That's when I really knew I was getting to her. In my head, I'm thinking, what was that you said about my plate number? Because I'm about to have your address, ma'am. But upon realizing she couldn't shake me, she's probably thinking, oh my God, if this guy's willing to follow me all this way, what else is he gonna do? I can't lead him to my house. So she swerved into the police station car park, at which point I just fucking left. It's no skin off my nose, the important part was you were afraid and I wasted your time. But let this be a lesson to you before you yell at somebody from your car window. I think people erroneously believe they're so safe in these little metal boxes that are vehicles, but you're not. People like me exist. People that are willing to, burn a precious resource like gasoline to simply fuck with you. And if you can't accept that, at least accept that Munkelberg ain't the fucking one.
Yeah, props to that guy. I think she learned a valuable lesson that day. That's what they call dedication to the bit in the industry. Yeah, hats off. Hats off to him. Yeah, I think that's about it for this week. Thanks again for watching. I appreciate it. I have 2 videos written right now. I'm going to shoot them. They'll probably go up on TikTok as well as YouTube in the next few weeks. I don't really know. I'm not that organized with my time for videos, but I'm going to try to put them out as soon as possible. Yeah, thanks again for watching. I appreciate you taking the time, and oh yeah, go follow me on TikTok and Instagram, all that stuff.
Job.